is Uwe Boll, ready for podcast number 2. And as you see, Daisy's in the background ready to go too, and she starts licking again her stupid pillow. Daisy, stop it. I cannot believe it. Stop! Platz. So I don't know what's wrong with her and or her itchy ass. Okay, we start with the first segment, and that is about some overrated directors who are basically completely idiotic, So the first one of the most overrated, idiotic, shitty directors ever, is Terrence Malick. He is like, I have to say, the Thin Red Line, the movie with Sean Penn and so on, I actually liked it. It's a war movie. You felt, okay, that guy, after Badlands, 1973, he never really made a movie again for a long time as a director, and everybody felt, oh my god, he's so a mystery, whatever, and then he did Days of Heaven, 1978, and then the Thin Red Line, 1998, so 20 years no movie. And Thin Red Line, after 20 years of basically not doing a lot, I really liked the movie, and I felt, okay, Terrence Malick is back, and it will be hopefully good. And then The New World came 2005, where he exchanged in the middle of the movie the main actor, basically. It didn't make any sense. It had great visuals about the exploring of the natives and the Indians, like in US, Columbus and so on. But it didn't. The story didn't add up to anything, and it was already a first sign of early Alzheimer's or something. Or he just found himself too important because he was in all the A-list festivals, and so he ended up after the Tree of Life. After The New World, he did the Tree of Life with Sean Penn and Brad Pitt, what was an absolutely disaster. It didn't make any sense. It was as pathetic filmmaking, feeling important about themselves. And amazing is that so many the top A-list actors still are falling in the trap and offers their services to Terrence Malick. He, at latest with the Tree of Life, gave up filmmaking, and there are two options. He laughs about everybody and thinks everybody is completely stupid to still finance his movies, or he is a stupid fucking idiot who doesn't know anything about telling a story or making a movie. So the Tree of Life was an embarrassment, but there I didn't really lost it with him. But then To the Wanderer and Night of Cups came, and that movies are insults for human intelligence, and it doesn't help, dear Terrence. It doesn't help to put the camera in the sun and to show a little grass going back and forth, and to have Ben Affleck and all the other retards acting for you but not talking, and crying and walking and looking out of the window. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you? Your movies are an insult, and I think also all the reviewers who still write you any good review are out of their fucking minds. Your movies are worst as the worst found footage bullshit horror crap I'm watching. What cost $100,000 to make? So and I cannot just watch your shit anymore. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so you have two options. You start making movies again, like movies with a story and dialogue and stuff like this, or you're just an absolutely retard who should stop making movies, and whose industry should stop that you make movies. So now coming to another huge disappointment, a director I liked way more as Terrence Malick, Paul Thomas Anderson. He did Boogie Nights, 97. And I have to say, Boogie Nights, one of my favorites. I mean, Mark Wahlberg's dick, I don't know, I'm not gay, but It doesn't matter. So, and but Reynolds came back with the movie about the porn industry. Julianne Moore was great. William H. Macy. It was just a great movie, great storytelling. I totally loved it. Then Magnolia came 2 years later. A movie I was not so happy with, like Boogie Nights. It was not so engaging, but it was a good movie. I mean, raining frogs and shit like this. I kind of liked it. You know, Magnolia, I have nothing against Magnolia. And then Punch Drunk Love came 2002, what was already a little, let's say, I didn't found into it so much, but still not an embarrassment. And then There Will Be Blood, 2007. For me, the best movie of the last 10 years. My favorite movie of all movies of the last 10 years. Daniel Day-Lewis in the part of his life. I mean, he's always the part of his life, but that movie was like perfect. I loved it. My favorite movie. And I felt like, oh my God, that guy is so talented, and it's good that he takes a long time, 5 years between Punch Drunk Love and There Will Be Blood, to do this, you know, and then another 5 years went down the drain, and then The Master came with the overall super overhyped Joaquin Phoenix, who is so full of shit, basically, and you feel it how he plays his parts, that he's full of shit. And Philip Seymour Hoffman and all that Scientology crap, what was in the movie, it didn't make any sense. The story didn't make any sense. It was unengaging. It was not funny. It was not. It was not. There was nothing in it. It was just an empty shell. And I think that was maybe because he teamed up with that completely idiotic Megan Allison Annapurna Films, who are famous for producing all the shit nobody wants to see, and since he works with her and she pumps up money from her father in his ass because she never could make her own money, she's a completely talentless hack, and Annapurna Pictures lost a few $100 million, 100%. If you do a real audit of the company, you will see they lose money and money and money. And so The Master was an absolute disaster. And Inherent Vice, 2014, where also you had the feeling, oh, for what I should spend all that money? Now I create some idiotic high-end settings and shoot that movie Inherent Vice again with Joaquin Phoenix. And it's amazing how all that idiots like Reese Witherspoon, whatever, playing then in that movies again and again and again because they know each other. And also the agent and managers should wake up and say, Paul Thomas Anderson went down the drain. He's now one of the worst filmmakers. He's a total disaster. That movies were an insult to human existence, an insult for intelligent people. There's no story in it, no storytelling. It's just completely fleshed out bullshit. Like, oh, we have money to spend, let's piss it in the wind. And that are movies that are like unbelievable bad. You know, it's like Michael Mann. Look, Heat was a great movie, but Blackhead was one of the worst pieces of shit I ever saw. You know, and that is the thing. What, by the way, when I talk about movies, I hoped also that my movies at one point get judged fairly. What I'm doing right now, I give people credit for what they did, and I give people shit if they did something wrong. I did great movies with Darfur, with Rampage, with Assault on Wall Street, with Postal. These are great movies, but nobody sees it neutral, so too bad for them, but I don't care. I think I'm very able to see people neutral, and I don't kiss asses. I don't care what the people think about me. That is the facts, what I just said about Terrence Malick and Paul Thomas Anderson, and in a way also Michael Mann, who did good movies, who did also really, really bad movies, and Blackhead was an absolute disaster. So no little advertising break. Shop on overballraw.com and get a hoodie. Uwe Boll Raw. I want to see you with the hoodie on Facebook or Instagram, sending me photos how you have my coffee mug or whatever from our website. Thank you very much.
Hello?
It's happening again.
I don't believe it.
To track down an ancient evil, they have been trained to hunt it.
We gotta go down there.
Equipped to kill it.
Move it! Come on, people! This is just the beginning.
Now, they just have to survive it. Alone in the dark. Rated R.
So I just watched the Vice documentary about prisons fixing the system, where Sean Smith from Vice went actually in a jail also talking to prisoners, and President Obama was with him. And it was interesting that everybody, judges, politics, whatever, even across the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, had the opinion we need a reform of the prison system. We cannot have people sitting in lifelong prison for possession or dealing like whatever, 100 gram coke, and then getting 25 years in prison. So but there is still that law that you have to, as a judge, have to give minimum penalties of like 10 years if you have 100 gram crack or something. So what is completely, of course, absurd, and they should like change that law so that the judges are more free to decide. And I have to say, it looked like they're on the way to do it, and so it's totally amazing to see that it looks like they're not doing it, and that is the crazy situation in the prison system situation, that we have like more prisoners in US as in any other country in the world, and if you're black, 1 out of 3 blacks will go to prison in their lifetimes, and that are scary percentages, and they should like be aware of it, and they should change it, and should change it rapidly and fast. So it is for me unbelievable that is still not the case, So I don't know what to say further about it, but it's one of the big points where in US everything is just moving too slow, for real change, and that is kind of crazy. On other subject matters, right now we had the VW affair, of course, in with the fake Excel stuff, what comes out of the cars, and so now we have also the FIFA scandal with the soccer, and that in Germany also that Germany bought the 2006 World Championship soccer with like $10 million in bribery, what they got from the ex-president from Adidas, and they're all on defense, and Franz Beckenbauer and everybody says in Germany, no, we didn't did it, and this all came out now because it's clear that Qatar, the soccer World Championship in Qatar, what will happen in winter, I think 2022 or whatever, in winter 60 degrees Celsius outside, and in Qatar nobody lives there to actually fill the stadiums, so they will have paid viewers, and it is so obvious bribery that it's a massive scandal. But what I think, what I put in that discussion is, we had the same thing, like for example when Siemens, people from Siemens company got arrested, and Siemens is a big technology company, right? So you can buy from baking oven from Siemens, but you can also buy a whole subway system. So it's a massive, huge world player company, and it turned out that they bribed people to get jobs like whatever, building the infrastructure in Turkey, infrastructure in Greece, infrastructure in Japan. And then they had massive people getting arrested, and everybody denied to know about the bribery. And I think that all that companies, my advice to them would be to just change that attitude and say, yes, we bribe, because otherwise we don't get anywhere. It's like you're not getting a soccer world championship to your country if you don't bribe the fucking assholes who are getting bribed from the other fucking assholes all the time. If you just say, let's give it to Germany or let's give it to US, you will not get it. And that is the same thing with the industry, like acts like we play fair, then a scandal comes out and criminal charges getting filed and people going down the drain. And I think the best as a CEO of a company or a soccer thing or whatever it is to say, okay, what you want, Germany, as an example, Germany with Siemens, right? You want that we employ 300,000 people and make 200 billion gross a year? Then just let us fucking bribe the different countries to get the jobs done, to build the subway in Moscow or to build a new airport somewhere, right? Or you want 200,000 more people unemployed and we make 60 billion gross a year and we make it clean. But you have 200,000 more unemployed people in Germany. Only to warn you. Because if we don't bribe all that, we are not getting that jobs, And I think that is kind of, I have to say, I as a CEO of Siemens, I would totally say it this way. and would say, guys, you make your decision. You force us to break the rules, otherwise we have no success at all. You know, and so what you want, pick it. You know, and it's so a double-twisted, double-faced society. You know, all the politics are going then on distance. But before, they're like super excited that company's getting worldwide that kind of big deals done. You know, and I think same with the soccer. It is ridiculous. I mean, if you see the FIFA as an example, right? Every country has one vote only. Even like major soccer nations like France, Italy, Germany, Spain have only one vote, the same vote as the guy from Papua New Guinea or Malta, right? So it is of course clear if you have a guy like who sits there, votes for Sri Lanka or whatever, that he will vote only for that country who gives him the most fucking bribe. And it's in the human nature. You know, there's people sitting, they have no yearly income. They make 20 grand as the chef of the soccer society in whatever, Nigeria. You know, so and if somebody comes here, give you $200,000. If you vote pro Qatar, he will vote pro Qatar. Even if it's 60 grade Celsius, there are no soccer stadiums and there's no audience, and they have to play in winter. So, I mean, and that is the thing what they have to rapidly change. And for me, the main point I want to make here is politics cannot always act like we don't know about anything, you know, and it's better, my advice to the people is better to just totally admit it right away and say, yeah, and who the fuck gives a shit? You know, you want this or you want that. And I think that is the better way to go through life, to play it then honest and straight, and then you go with the consequences. You know, if you have to go to jail for it, you have to go to jail for it. But you should not say, like Winterkorn now, the ex-CEO of VW, oh, I had no clue about it. But he's an engineer. He knows exactly what is in every car. Without him, there would be no chips changing the measurements, right? So it is crystal clear that on VW, as an example, the fish stinks from the head, and that Winterkorn was the main guy, the puppet player, who said we do it, we cheat, and so it is so crystal clear, you know. So and it's kind of absurd how they try to squeeze out of that responsibilities only because they all, of course, don't want to go a year or two to jail or get a probation penalty. So, and it's too bad that they are really, yeah.
Doctor, I assume you've got something interesting to show me.
He can fight harder and longer than any human soldier.
You saying you can't control it? Sedated! You're making brainless monsters!
Outstanding.
Don't you think it's a little far-fetched?
It's too good of a story to pass up. I'm calling to confirm that you were able to get that boat captain.
Special Army my ass. He's a drunk.
I'm just the driver.
You're just a simple boatman.
I haven't said anything about being simple.
You're a sick, egotistical maniac.
Let's not go over the top.
You are one persistent son of a bitch. Kill him.
Is that your gun?
Here's Uwe Boll, and this is my own kitchen. And from time to time, of course, and not only from time to time, I cook a lot. And this is a special German dish what takes 4 days to make, actually. We have Wednesday now, and we will keep shooting till Saturday. Sauerbraten. Look, you need an amazing piece of round, like from the beef. And this is from a very good butcher, Jofus. Okay, so you need a big pot. And in the big pot, first, you put apple juice. So you put a whole liter of apple juice in, because the meat has to be completely covered with the vinaigrette we do. So first, the whole liter of apple juice comes in. Then, wine. And to be honest, like, look at that brand, OKV. I buy it here in the liquor store. And that is the cheapest wine you can buy, basically. And it's 10 times better, even for drinking. I totally recommend that wine. Like for $8 the bottle. And it's like better as 50% of the BC red wine I drank. And they are normally they have like tons and tons of money involved in the BC, like $20, $30 for BC wine, and a lot of BC wine is almost undrinkable. So now you put more water in additional, then you take marmalade, like it can be any marmalade, raspberry or oranges like here, to give a little sweetness, in it, and you do cranberries in. So you put some cranberries in, additional, and put that all in, and then you put 2 huge onions in. So they all go here in the vinaigrette. So, and then, because I just said vinaigrette, what I completely forgot is, of course, you need the vinaigrette, but where I have it actually. Here, look, you just buy a cheap, huge container of vinegar, and now you will be shocked how much vinegar I put in, because it has to be really, really sour. So let's see. No, it's not sour enough, so I put even more vinegar in. So, and now you switch the pan on, and it gets really fast, really hot, some olive oil in the pan, and this will get burned in the pan. Like, I will burn all sides. That's a really, really dark meat, like dark cooked, because you need that to put it then in the vinegar. And over the next 4 days, you turn the meat and turn the meat and turn the meat every day a few times in that special sauce, basically. And then it turns into a sweetness and a sour sweetness. And that sauce, you will see it when I actually make the Sauerbraten on Saturday. You will see part 2 of it. And yeah, and then it will cook Saturday around 6 to 7 hours. And we do dumplings and all that stuff additional. Yeah, this was it, the beginning of the Sauerbraten. I mean, this takes a little too long, but I will burn that on all sides, and maybe a little later you film it only how the meat looks when I put it in the pot. Perfect. Okay, here. So now it's Saturday. As you know, Wednesday I put the meat in the pan, and then I put the meat in the sauce. Look at the sauce right now. Just move in. So this is how it looks like after it cooked in total 7 hours. So the meat will fall apart when we actually eat it. Here's red cabbage with some vinaigrette and apple juice and spices will get heated up. And look here are potato dumplings, where we will form the dumplings and throw them in the hot water, and then you have potato dumplings. So, and then we will have with that an apple compote, like an apple sauce on the side. Yeah, a very heavy German dish, but the most famous dish from the region I'm coming from Cologne.
police rigs. What do they want?
First to fight for the facts, now they're coming home and back.
Y'all understand what I'm talking about?
Not guilty.
Get off of this flag.
Yeah, a few more movies before we move to the next subject matter. A Most Violent Year, a good gangster story, in a way, with Jessica Chastain and a more or less unknown actor, but it was an interesting thing about the unions and truck driving and so on. McFarland, Kevin Costner, running movie in a way, typical Hollywood Disney production. But not a bad movie overall. The Salvation with one of my favorite actors, Mads Mikkelsen, the Western they did. A good movie, but very bad in a way ending. You know, like over the top, and it had strong elements, but it never really felt through that turning into the possible masterpiece it would be. No comparison to his Viking movie, Valhalla Rising, what was amazing. Then Locke, the movie with Tom Hardy, where he's in his car driving the whole time alone in the movie and has only phone calls about a woman gets a baby, so he cannot be at his job, he maybe loses his job, his wife with the kids get the information, another woman gets a baby from him, or it was a one night stand and he flips completely out about. I mean, it's an interesting movie, but also totally open-ended in a way, so it doesn't have a solution in the end. Then The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg, another, I mean, I like that kind of movies, but it was kind of absurd too, because they would just, the people he owes money to, they would kill him definitely before. And that they don't do that then. And then Taken 3 with Liam Neeson, I think was clearly better as Taken 2 was. So in a way, the movie a little comes back to life, the series, but they should maybe stop doing it now. It's enough, you know. But Taken 3 was definitely better at Taken 2. But I want to talk about a few issues coming up also this week. Rush Limbaugh, you know, born 1951, the very right corner podcast radio king of America, with Glenn Beck together, very conservative guys, and they have a massive career, makes hundreds of millions of dollars. So the question for me is, how can I be so successful as Rush Limbaugh doing a podcast? So, and I think the media industry today works basically only with insults. So, you know, like all the good statements I did, all the amazing director commentaries I did on my movies about the political climate and everything have no impact. But then when I did the YouTube clip, like, fuck you, all you fucking pricks in Hollywood, I did 2 million views on YouTube. So maybe I should try that again to move people's attention to my podcast, to my radio show. And and I will try it a little with Rush Limbaugh. He comes anxious up from Germany, so I know how he feels. He is kind of a fanatic like Glenn Beck too, but he has absurd points of view, like super Christian, and of course he's against pot or gay marriage or whatever, right? So whatever subject is, he will be against it. He thinks Obama is not even American. He thinks the Democrats are socialists, basically. And but he has a lot of supporters. And I think that is the main point with that kind of people like him and Glenn Beck, is that they're completely corrupt. They are bored, right? So, because there are two options, like they're completely fucking stupid, like for example, denying climate change, you know, or still thinking Bush did everything right and going into Iraq. So all that stuff, there are two solutions to it. You are totally stupid, like completely out of your fucking mind, or you're completely corrupt. And I think in his case, making so much money, he has to be completely corrupt. So he's bought from the Koch brothers and so on, and basically the weapon industry, the oil industry, the Monsantos, to spread out his lies, to control a big majority of Americans, mostly white and Christians, and because that is the majority in US still, it's 60-70% of the people are white Christians. Right, so and I think that is very, very dangerous, because that people have more and more political influence, and they can spread their lies out. And so I have to call Rush Limbaugh out, and Glenn Beck too, that they should shut the fuck up, and they should stop getting bribes, and they should admit that they're nothing else as loudspeakers from industry. And I'm very, very pissed about it. And people like this, they all started normally out on Fox, you know, like now Bill O'Reilly's there, Sean Hannity is there. And they are not so extreme on Fox News, because they know they have to be getting hold accountable for lies. But for me, for example, it's still unbelievable. How can people, for example, sit in California and the whole country dries out, and you deny climate change? I mean, how is that fitting together, right? If you actually have no water anymore, and it's a desert now, so soon LA will look like Las Vegas looked, and there are all facts, and you can see satellite photos and underground photos. It's also a thing what people don't get is that first the water dissolves way under the surface, underground, then it starts drying out from below, so that when you have a hot summer, then out of nowhere, there is nothing growing anymore, because there is no support from the below the surface water reserves. They were there for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years, and now they vaporized forever. So it is kind of an absurd situation that people still deny absolutely facts. And the funny thing is, for example, in Europe, at least in Germany, I can say, if you lie in public as a public figure, where you, and in Germany is, for example, it's fact that there's climate change. So I could sue you if you're a German citizen, a German radio host talking in your radio show that there is no climate change. I could sue you, and the judge would make you in public admitting that there's climate change. And if you don't admit it, you get $1 million, then $10 million, then $100 million, and then you're fucking bankrupt. If you in public still deny the facts. And that is how it should be. And that is the freedom of speech in USA is a big, big misunderstanding. You know, it's the same like the freedom to carry a weapon or whatever is a big misunderstanding. Time went by, and we're living in a modern industry world, and to carry a weapon is now only a big danger. It doesn't make any sense. So, and they still holding back shit up what is like an absurd old stuff what doesn't fit to the reality anymore. And the same with people, they deny climate change. They say, yeah, but it's freedom of speech. No, it's not. You don't have freedom to lie to people and influence people with lies, with propaganda. You have to admit what the truth is, and you have to be legally liable for it, you know. And there are like different accountabilities. And I think it's time that in the US somebody puts a lawsuit in against all the climate deniers, you know. And on the last note, last week I talked about the Bill Cosby situation, and I thought about, look how absurd it is. Like Roland Polanski raped that girl 40 years ago, and like 2 or 3 years ago, he was almost arrested in Switzerland, had to stay in house arrest for a year because there was still an extraditing with US going on. So you can charge people. They ran away. I mean, his crime was he ran out of the US where he was still like in court there. But also this shouldn't be a crime anymore after 30, 40 years. I mean, if rape doesn't count after 10 years anymore. Like Bill Cosby, he raped 80 or 100 girls and nobody can charge him because it's all like 10 years ago or longer away. That is totally absurd that you still can arrest somebody who ran away from court 40 years ago. You know, and that shows like on Roman Polanski was no support, so they still want to fuck him in the ass basically. And Bill Cosby has big protectors. It looks like they don't want to find a law to get him finally in a way accountable for what he did. Hello, my fellow Americans. As you see, I'm full sponsored. You remember my boxing fights? Sponsored by goldenpalace.com. But that is not the point. I'm here like this. I put the boxing stuff on from Raging Bull because it's time to run for president for the United States of America. I have to tell you, I have to do it to restore. Wait. Hello. I want to run for president of the United States of America to restore sanity, because it cannot be. It just cannot be what's going on. It's like completely absurd. And I want to run for the Republicans because we shouldn't forget. And that is like my plat basically, is who are we Republicans? Like, we freed the South, the slaves. Lincoln was a Republican. I mean, the history of the Republican Party is we are the good guys. We are like the people with like the sanity, with like making things, uniting America, making the things they make sense. And now I really don't know what happened. Like the Republican Party right now, and that is the reason they need me as the presidential campaign, as the campaign leader and the candidate, is off tracks by retards, by super Catholics, by climate change denier, and everything else. If I want to be elected as a Republican candidate, I have to say, okay, here's my program. We don't need a wall between us and Mexico because we fucking nuked the Mexicans and they're all gone. And before we nuke them, we ship all homosexual people over there and transsexual, including the fucking Bruce Jenner guy or girl or whatever he is, and we ship them over there and then we nuke them. The same with the Middle East. You know, we should just neutron bomb them so they're all gone, and then we suck the oil out and subject matter is over. Guns. We just give everybody guns because look, it worked where both sides, like the Cold War, right? Both sides had atomic weapons and nobody throwed them. The same thing will happen with handguns. You give handguns to everybody, every school kid, everything, and you will see everybody's scared shitless that the other guy maybe shoots and then I shoot back and whatever, nobody shoots. So it's perfect. Everybody will be very happy with handguns everywhere. carrying around full-loaded automatic weapons, no problem. And no more shootings, no more massacres. It's perfect. You know, if a crazy guy wants to shoot, he gets shredded right away because everybody, like from 5 years old, has a full automatic weapon in their hands. Healthcare, we don't really need it. To be honest, like if you are a real American, you don't get sick. Only if you're like a fat fuck from Texas or whatever, you maybe get a heart attack at one point, but who gives a shit? Then you just die on the street. So we definitely don't need healthcare. We can save all that money. Taxes. You know, we should omit the IRS and we should just omit everybody. Like basically, I mean, I cannot omit everybody and nobody's left besides me. But the point is, we should omit taxes. Why? You know, every money what the government of the United States needs, we can steal from other countries. We invade everybody and get the fucking money from them. And our citizens don't pay any taxes and getting rich and happy. And look, let's say you're a homeless guy. Right now you make $5,000 begging a year. You still have to pay like 5 to 10% taxes on it. It's crazy. You know, I want to make it better for the homeless actually. This reason, believe me. And so then with the religion, I mean, I think we should be all Catholic, but we shouldn't believe in what the Pope says right now. We should wait till that Pope is dead, or we should actually kill that Pope right now. And then we install it and get a new Pope going. The German Nazi guy back. I mean, I'm German, I know it, right? So, and it's all good. So then there's nothing else basically for me to do. And import tax, what Donald Trump says, is not so bad for all the shit what comes back from China. We should just tax them a little on it. And fracking has to keep going, so we don't need the oil from nobody. And so we'll be happy. America will be very happy. And every 3 years we see American Sniper reunited, the new movie, and give it all the Oscars. And it's perfect. And that is my Republican candidate speech. So please elect me, Uwe Boll. So, yes, the Republicans are the best party in America. Historically, it's the party for freedom. For the freedom of speech, for the freedom of thinking. And freedom means also natural science. Like you have to believe in what are facts. You cannot deny climate change. It's the fact, and Lincoln would not want that you deny climate change, for example. Immigration, we need the immigrants. The Mexicans are the hardest working people. Without them, no farming, no cleaning, no cooking, no babysitting in the USA. California can close down without them. The Mexicans are welcome and they should be legal, so they pay taxes, and because they're hardworking. You know, so healthcare, of course we need healthcare. But we have to see in US, doctors, clinics, whatever, they make too much fucking money. In Germany, a heart surgeon, a great one, makes $250,000. In US, $2 million. And that is the reason the healthcare costs are too high. That is the reason Obamacare cannot work like this. So we have to get the healthcare costs down. You know, an X-ray in Germany costs $80. In US, $800. It doesn't make any sense. So in US, a lot of doctors and clinics make too much profits. This is the reason they're all the fucking time in Palm Springs playing golf, and we have to stop that. They have to do the shit cheaper. The inheritance tax, of course we need it, and we need it bigger. Why? Like worthless pieces of shit, like the Hilton kids or whatever, should get the inheritance for free. They should actually give all the money away and should work at the Starbucks, the fucking pieces of shit. No, we need inheritance tax up to a sliding scale, up to 80%. You know, if you inherit 100 grand, it should be tax-free. And if you inherit $1 million, you should pay 20-30% taxes on it. But if you inherit $1 billion, you should pay 80% taxes on it because you're a fucking primitive, fucking rich asshole. So then, of course, no fracking. It destroys everything. It makes erosion. It will make earthquakes and everything. We have to change it. The guns. Of course you can keep your guns. If you have a gun right now, you can keep it. But for everybody else who wants a new gun, has to be over 25 years old, needs to pass a practical and theoretical test, including a background check. Nobody can just run around with a loaded gun outside, only on your own property or at the gun range. That are the new rules, and the NRA will sign on it because they're also not retarded, right? Nobody wants to walk around with a gun. It's crazy. Religion is private, and it cannot interfere with politics. If you're an idiot and you believe in God or religion, whatever, do it. But keep it for yourself. If you want to put your religion on other people or command or brainwash the public with your religion, you will suffer consequences. We will rule the country with facts and natural science. It's time to do it. There is no God. It's all made up, human-made Bible shit, wrote by humans. They are like 1,000 years old and were retards. They didn't even ever watch Family Guy. The wars in the Middle East, if they all want to kill each other, too bad for them. We will not put more money or lives in senseless wars to help idiots building the next failed state or government. We will make sure that no terrorist can build a nuclear bomb or whatever, blow up the World Trade Center again, because the insurance will flip out if that building crashes a second time. But the reality is, we absolutely need to stay out of the Middle East and third world countries and interfere. It's not worth it. The economy. People who work hard need a good pay, and they need to not pay too much taxes. 0% from people under 20k income a year, 60% for the super rich, 60% inheritance tax, or even higher for profits, dividends, interest tax. But in exchange, healthcare, good schools, universities for almost free to everybody. That is how it has to be. And last, sometimes an abortion is better as getting the baby. If you're a result of a rape, you should not get the baby. If you're a drug addict or you have like a terminal disease, you should not get the baby. So it has to be legal to do an abortion. All people are equal. All sexual orientations are okay. Same-sex marriage is allowed. Marijuana is legal everywhere. That means not that it's good to smoke pot or it's a norm to be gay or whatever, but it's legal and it is what it is. Like, just the fuck get over it. That were my 2 speeches. Nominate me as the new candidate for the Republican Party to be the next president of the United States. You will not regret it. Good night.